Alright, I clicked go live. Alright, how we looking?
This is pretty good. This is pretty good.
The volume's everything good? Background music? The volume's everything good? Background music?
Let me hold on a minute. Let me check.
Oh dear God. Okay, people are already here. Hi, box. We're not done quite yet. We're just making sure everything's actually functional. No, while you're here. Oh.
Alright, cool.
So just to be clear, background music's good. But you're good.
Yeah, I think I'm good. I'll refer to chat when possible.
Alright, cool. There's 6 people already here. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna put out the announcements now.
Holy shit, 6 people are here?
Yeah, apparently. Alright, well, hi everyone.
Hi everyone, welcome to Weird Wisdom Weekend.
And there we go. Alright, sweet. Current plans are to talk about the psychology of cannibalism. A good start, I'd say.
Yeah.
Let's see. The psychology of cannibalism and monsters of various cultures that may or may not have something to do with cannibalism. Yum indeed, Boxy.
Yes.
So, you want to just hop right into it, or you want to, like, chill out for a hot sec?
I'm noticing we're rapidly losing people, but this is fine. Everything's fine.
It's better to just not look at it.
Okay, let's not look at it.
Yeah. Now. Maybe cannibalism was a bit too strong to start, but who cares? Who cares? Who gives a shit? It's fine.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Go ahead and close. Oh, you know what? I can't automatically put on. Okay, do not disturb it is. Cool. I'm gonna have to put a streaming cannibalism. There, good. All right. So, do you want to go ahead and jump right in?
Yeah, let's jump right into this. I have the wiki page open with me, so I can refer to any sources.
Understood. I think I'll go ahead and kick us off by saying, well, yes, the term cannibal.
Yes.
It originated when Columbus went on his little, his voyage, and he saw a tribe known as the Caribs, or Caribs, something like that. And mistranslating it, it got basically turned into, I believe, Caribs, and then Caribas, and then Cannabis. Along the, boat ride back. Fuck, my alarm's coming off. No, past me, fuck you. But it was warped over the ship ride back into, basically, to refer to the tribe as cannibal. And, considering, well, what they were doing, eating people, reportedly eating people, the name just kind of stuck.
No, there was an older name for cannibalism called anthrophagy, or anthrophagy? Anthrophagy, I think. And that just refers to anthro, meaning people, I think? Let me take a look.
I believe it means, like, humanoid.
Anthro-humanoid. And then phagy, which is just eating, like coprophagy and things like that. And that is usually referred to human cannibalism. Now, there are many reasons as to why somebody would eat another human being. There are, dear God, there are so many. What I've noted through my research is that there is mostly a lack of protein or protein starvation that would cause somebody to eat a human being. What what did you find?
At least for the reasons, a lot of the time, it basically just comes down to, for what I've seen, is either desperation or a cultural acceptance slash requirement, expectation.
I see. Okay.
Such as the Donner Party, I'm sure we know at least a bit about them. Obligation, that works yet too, yeah.
Obligation, that will work.
Like, the Donner Party, they were around 1846, I want to say, and they attempted to journey west in search of, land and resources. Hannibal Pog when?
Look away.
I'll fucking do it. I'll get a Hannibal Lecter Pog face. I'll put that on the list, Apaco. But the Donner Party, when their resources ran dry and they were enjoying the wonderful hospitable lands that were very much not hospitable, they resorted to cannibalism in order to stay alive. Because if they didn't, they just would have died there. So, better to live tragically with PTSD than die, I guess. But in other instances, such as, I believe, there was a trying of a Japanese war leader. I want to say they were Japanese. Who basically encouraged his men to partake in cannibalism because they believed it made them stronger and it was a show of strength.
Let me take a look.
Granted, there have also been moments where just a mistranslation has also led to cannibalism on a wide scale. Just, like, encouraged by, say, doctors.
Oh, here we go.
Yep.
Okay, so let's see. In 15th to, was it 18th century Europe? Is this what you're referring to?
This is 12th century Europe is when it, I think the
12th
translation
century.
warped.
Oh, okay, so it's 12th century. So we all know about the existence of mummies. I'm pretty sure.
Great movie.
Great movie.
Never seen it. Good movie.
So there was there must have been a translation warp where they believed that mummies had medicinal properties, such as curing like cancer and other things like that, other incurable diseases.
Where this warp actually came from was mumia, whatever you want to call it, was a sort of black resin that did have, from what I remember, it did have medicinal properties. And it was also used in the process of puffification as the resin you would apply to linens and the skin to be able to, A, help it preserve, and B, allow the linens to stick to itself so you could properly wrap the mummy.
I never actually knew that, dear God. Okay.
And when this mumia ran out, as in there was no more proper mumia, a translation error occurred in which it turned from, a black resin, like what was it? A black resin bitumen, that's it. A black resinous bitumen. It turned from, that as its definition, to, quote, a black resinous exudate, scraped from embalmed mummies. This is what it was understood as. So, they basically just kind of typoed their way into using corpses as medicinal herbs.
They kind of I think they kind of used it as a salt, where essentially they would sprinkle it on their food and things like that for medicinal purposes. Whether it worked or not, I have no clue.
I do. It didn't.
Okay, wonderful. We just started eating mummies, and do you know how many mummies they ate, or it was just
No, I don't.
Okay.
I do know it was like this translation error occurred around the 12th century, and it was around the 16th century that Egypt just decided, you know what? We're not gonna give you any more mummies. That you've had enough. Okay,
You have lost your mummy privileges.
you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, kind of thing. And when they did, Europe was basically just like, wow. You know, this really opened our eyes. Maybe eating dead people for a sketchy reason isn't the best. Nah, I'm fucking with you. They started eating each other.
So, mummy tea and paint was appropriately referred to as mummy brown.
That it was.
Are also quite common. Thank you, Paco, for that
Yes, thank you, Paco.
information. We love our chat.
Yep. It was actually only around the Renaissance era that scholars were able to actually prove it was a translation era. So finally, England got their hand out of the mummified Elmer's glue and put it down.
No, I believe there was a case in China where there was a certain region that would eat people for essentially the delicacy of it. Let me scroll down on the wiki and quote it real quick. Let's see. God damn it, I can't find it.
And that's why you take notes.
I don't. Ah! No. Damn, I can't find it. I guess I just hold on. What was it? Control F.
I'd personally argue you probably should start with Control F, but you know, that's fair.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, so keep going while I try to find this.
I mean, okay. I will go on to a slightly different part of this,
Okay.
and we can come back when you find it.
Okay, great.
So we already covered, like, you know, the Donner part and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Nope, my notes immediately go into Wendigo.
Oh my god. Okay.
So, how about this? We can talk a bit about Wendigo psychosis. Wendigo psychosis is basically a culture-bound psychosis. Like, I believe it is of the Algonquin tribe? Yeah, the Algonquin tribe. And it is beyond them as well, but that you could call that the heart of it, so to speak. But the Algonquin tribe, Jesus Christ, can basically have Wendigo psychosis, which is basically symptoms can fall under like having an intense craving for human flesh and a fear of becoming a cannibal, which people would refer to people that have gone under this kind of psychosis as Wendigo. It's kind of hazy of what it really is, but the best thing we got is just this culture believes in the Wendigo, a creature that's this gaunt, emaciated thing that comes from resorting to cannibalism to stay alive, and when you're cold and hungry. And their fear of that is actually what gives birth to a potential look-alike, so to speak. Not look-alike, but a very similar behavior. So their belief in a Wendigo and that they could become this thing might, what's it called? Not Pavlov effect, a placebo effect them, so to speak, into acting this way. And because of the psychosis, they might just think, well, I'm being possessed by the Wendigo spirit, and now I have to do this.
So I did find something interesting, but it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. Alright. hold on. Chat time.
Yeah.
I know that there was a Guangzhou massacre in China that lasted from 1967 to 1976. Hundreds were eaten despite there being no famine, and thousands more died in many non-PG ways. Thank you, Paco.
We're not
Uh,
PG. We're talking about cannibal. We
Cannibal-
literally have cannibalism in our tags. We're fine.
it's fine. Everything's fine.
Also, hi, Elfie.
Hi, Alfie.
Yeah.
So, what I was looking at was there's such a thing as gastronomic cannibalism, which is essentially a supplement to the normal diet. So they would choose to actually eat people for basically their own entertainment, as far as I'm aware.
What,
So
just
they
like you're at a party and it's like, have you ever eaten crocodile? I have. What about Timothy? You know what? I don't think I've eaten that one yet, honestly.
So yeah, and there was a certain culture in Liberia, I think it was Liberia? It was Liberia, that it would be wasteful to let the flesh of the enemy spoil, so they just ate it.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so there was just like, hey, we have all this meat about this war we just fought, and we're kind of hungry. So why would we go hunting when we just hunted a bunch of people?
I mean, without knowing the proper, like, fuck-ups that come from cannibalism, it's a reasonable thing to think.
Yeah, when you're like when you're hungry and there's a dead person laying in front of you, that urge does arise. I mean, with gastronomic cannibalism, you don't have to be starving. That's the thing. It's not out of desperation. It's out of just what you have.
That kind of, like, hunter's philosophy of not wasting anything.
Exactly. They use the whole body.
Yeah.
Except it's people.
Mwah.
Mwah.
Who's thick?
Box says it's out of misguided sensibility. Well, that's the...
I can't say anything toward this specific. It's not like they're talking from from experience of eating people. Look,
Hey.
Elfie. Hey, look. Okay. You can see our real life faces on the screen right now. Do we look like people? No.
Oh my god.
But there might also be a scenario. I don't know the specific culture, but it might also be a scenario of like how you respect the dead. I do know that there has been a relatively common philosophy among hunters specifically, or I guess not hunters specifically, but that's where I know it from. That they respect their dead and honor the dead by using all of the body. So you would eat, what you can, use what else you can to maybe feed animals or whatnot, stuff like that.
And there was a report by Emile Torday, who was an anthropologist. So he studied different cultures and
Thus
different...
and thus the French were born.
And thus the French were born! What was Emile? Was Emile Torday French? I'm trying to look.
Mm.
God damn it, what was it? Emile Torday was Hungarian!
I somehow believe that more.
But the most I'm gonna quote him real quick. So notes that the most common reason for cannibalism was simply gastronomic. The natives loved, quote, the flesh that speaks, unquote, as human flesh is commonly called, and paid for it. And Qi Chong observes that throughout Chinese history, learned cannibalism was often practiced for culinary appreciation.
Culinary appreciation is definitely a way to look at that.
So they apparently human meat would just be on the market, like cow and pig.
You know the
And
saying "stick a fork in me"? Like
yeah,
stick a fork in me, I'm done.
yeah.
I feel like that saying is gonna become a lot more common in our vocabulary after this stream.
Hmm.
Can't imagine why.
I wonder why. No. I'd like to note that, let's see, a lot of people, a lot of tribes, I think, tribes or cultures, y- used slaves for their human meat or just people that they fought. Now, I wonder why they would just take a slave and just,
Actually, getting reminded now of a fuck. I don't remember what culture it was. I don't remember. I could make a guess, but it would be disingenuous.
can you
Uh,
describe what they did?
yeah. Basically, what they would do is if they're like if a child's parent was really sick, like they are dying levels of sick, as one of the last ditch measure, like as like a last ditch measure, they might take, say, like a finger off of the child. Like the child would give up a finger or a bit of their thigh, something like that, and give it to the parent to eat. Which they thought was, again, that sounds kind of like, what the fuck to us, but we know how medicine works, and we know that's not how the fuck that works. But to them, they were like, all right, this is my kin. They are strong. They're healthy. So if I eat some of their flesh, then I'll get strong and healthy again. That was the train of thought. And I really wish I could remember the culture that did it. I should have wrote that down.
Ah, and then I'm looking at currently the process of human predation. So they would just eat people as like that's just their normal part of hunting and foraging is just people out there in the woods. This was in New Guinea, I think. New Guinea lowland, southern New Guinea lowland rainforests.
There's.
This,
I'm also gonna remind it. I think this is an Egyptian thing.
mm-hmm.
Though I don't know. I don't know if it was ever actually used, but I know that it was spoken about. The concept of mellification.
Mellification. I haven't heard of it.
Basically, what they would do is, like, if you are, on the verge of death, you could, opt to be mellified. Mellified, I guess. Yeah, mellified. Everything you would do involved honey. You would bathe in honey, clean yourself in honey, you would eat honey. Just honey. Which, a quote that I recall is, "This sounds very, luxurious until you die because man cannot live off honey alone." And when you're, nice and dead, filled with honey, like, the idea here is that you would become a man made of honey. Like, your blood would be honey, your sweat would be honey, stuff like that. That's not how that works, of course, but that was the idea behind it. And when they were dead, they would fill them up in, like, I say fill them up, they would put them into I won't say a sarcophagus kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and fill that sarcophagus with honey, and then, say, I think 100 years later it was? Like 100 years after you put them in the ground, you dig them back up. And you can basically tap from that sarcophagus and get this kind of candy from it, like a rocky candy kind of thing. And that was sold just, again, as a delicacy sort of thing. I say as a delicacy, that's the kind of thing you could, like, go into a candy shop and find.
Huh. Corpse candy.
Yeah.
God, now I want to try it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it sounded kind of good to me too. Speaking of cannibalism being appealing, the Wendigo.
Very smooth transition. Thank you, Cameron.
Yeah, I know, right? I should probably mention this before I go into this. It is among certain cultures, like I think it is the Algonquin, that do have this taboo. It is taboo to bring up Wendigo in a non-academic, non-serious context. Which is why I intended to do this in a non-academic, semi-academic, non-serious context.
Perfect.
So, yeah, I'll be half cursed or something. I don't remember what happens. I think, like, a Wendigo hunts you down or something. We'll see. I'll keep you guys posted, or I won't. A quote from Basil Johnston. That's a name. A Ojibwe teacher and scholar. Is the Wendigo was gone to the point of emanciation. Basically, just its skin and bones. It's desiccated. Just its moisture has been fucking siphoned from its body. Its skin pulled tautly over its bones, with its bones pushing out against its skin. Its complexion the ash gray of death, and its eyes pushed back deep into their sockets. The Wendigo looked like a gaunt skeleton recently disinterred, yeeted from the grave. What lips it had were tattered and bloody. Its body was unclean and suffering from suppurations. Pus discharge.
Ooh.
Of the flesh, giving off a strange and eerie odor of decay and decomposition, of death and corruption. Which, I understand, is, you know, kind of a fucked up thing to read when you think about it. But that's kind of fucking metal.
I'd like to note that this sounds like a description of somebody who is just absolutely starving. Like, this is somebody who has been through the ringer.
What a coincidence!
Just walking out in the night. Like their skin might be shadowy. Like, this might be a description of somebody who is in the depths of desperation.
The kind of state that the blobfish would be in, the picture that we know.
The picture that we know. The one where you pull it up from the pressurized ocean.
Yup. And then it basically turns inside the fuck out. Yeah, that one.
Alright,
they probably have around the same hit points, yeah.
Shut up. Apaco says, not me, your local skinwalker knocking at your door.
You know, I don't have skinwalkers on this, but I do know quite a bit about them. And well, it's not necessarily that cannibalism is necessary to become a skinwalker. It's namely just like a, quote, horrendous act. But we can get that a hot second. Like it's most likely that Wendigo is a cultural, you know, sort of psychosis kind of thing, where if you get to the point where you have to eat someone to live. Is that a fucking ad playing in my background music? Oh, it got away from me just in time. I'm gonna fucking... Okay, I need YouTube Premium. Fuck, where was I? I got thrown out by Progressive. Right, yes, okay. It's most likely that Wendigo psychosis, plus just a natural stigma against eating people, is what a Wendigo is. I'm not gonna say it's impossible for some, like, supernatural thing to be going on there, but I'm not gonna say I'm confident that's the case either. Like, there is a story about an Englishman hanging out with basically a native tribe, and a starving man came from the woods. The Englishman thought fucking nothing of it, because, you know, as a starving guy, yeah, he's, like, looking pretty roughed up, but it's not, like... It's not something so unusual. The Native Americans asked about him, like, hey, Are you okay? No. Basically, he said that his family, cousin, a few kids, and his uncle weren't strong enough to actually make the journey to where, they are now. The Native Americans were hesitant to believe this. Well, not to believe that they weren't strong enough, but to believe that he didn't eat them as well. Because this guy was fucking skin and bones. He was starving damn near to death. And to be completely honest with you, the Native Americans didn't trust this shit at all. Because they had the stories of the Wendigo. And that was in their minds. So they went back, they followed his tracks back to his last campsite, and found a hand in a extinguished now campfire, cooked. So, they didn't really need much more evidence than that. They brought the hand back to the guy, and proceeded to ask him, hey, I just kind of found this around your place, what the fuck? And he confesses that, yeah, me and my cousin, my uncle was really not, yes, the woods seemed to not want my uncle to be able to hunt. Yes, he was missing all of his shots, he couldn't hunt, so he just decided to give up and die. Okay. And, he and his cousin were, among the family, the only ones who actually gave him his wish and killed him. And when they did, it was like, the uncle's dead. Might as well keep going, right? So they killed, 3 younger ones. I don't know if they were kids, but I don't know if they weren't kids. And ate them too, over the journey. Mm-hmm. The mom, though, they didn't kill her. They just kind of left her to die, which is, in and of itself, potentially, arguably, more fucked up than the rest of this. But, later, when they ran out of, family to eat, he and the cousin had to brawl, because the cousin's not there, and, survival of the fittest, I guess. Basically, they had to brawl, and the starving motherfucker came up victorious, and that was the hand that they saw in, that fireplace. That was his cousin. So now he's there, standing in front of the Native Americans, who are like, this guy's a fucking Wendigo. This guy is absolutely a fucking Wendigo. But they gave him a bit of food. And again, this is all recorded by an Englishman from way back when, so let this give however much credence you want to it. Credence? Is that it?
Yep, that's credence.
Alright, yeah. However much credence you want to it. It's said that the guy basically was given food, and he ate it, he picked at it, but he wasn't happy about it. Instead, he opted to just kind of stare at the Native American children. So they buried an axe into the back of his skull, like he was Lenny remembering bunnies. And then I guess an Englishman decided to write about it. So,
what a series of events.
Yeah. When it comes to what Wendigo are supposed to be able to do, their legendary status, if there was a real Wendigo out there that can do all the shit people say it can, it would be this relatively tall, around human height, maybe a bit bigger, tall, emaciated thing that could mimic voices. It has its human intelligence to a degree. An Englishman decided to write about it. The true ending to many horror stories. You right, Boxy. You right.
And then the English got involved.
Oh, get involved. That's you can start throwing in archaeology too. But if a Wendigo was real, it can do everything people say it can. It would basically be able to mimic voices. It could call out to you in say if your partner just, went off into the woods or something, they could call out to you in your partner's voice, so long as they can hear you. It's not a scenario where they kill you and they can steal your voice. It's just mimicry. They would retain their human intelligence. It's just now they're less focused and a lot more driven to eat you. There's actually a saying about Wendigo. Quote, if it sounds near, it's far. If it sounds far, it's too late. So,
no.
yeah,
Oh,
I saw that quote and immediately wrote it down.
It's like polar bears, dear God.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, these fuckers would be like polar bears, but not where polar bears are, and that's in and of itself is fucking terrifying.
Let's see. Let's see. There is. I'm just looking at the wiki
Oh, did I
for
get?
human cannibalism.
If it sounds near, it's far. Yeah, I got that right.
Yeah.
I got that right. Yeah, it's one of its supernatural properties. Like, imagine a god-tier ventriloquist. Like, this... If it sounds far, the gimmick is, it wants to make you think it's far away, so you lower your guard. Oh, wait, no, my brain was the one that wrong. Okay, that... it's fine.
It did sound kind of weird out of context. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Oh, and the, is there anything you want to say regarding just cannibalism in general or the Wendigo before I dive into the Witchuge?
I was gonna talk about, some myths that involve cannibalism.
Honestly, that's a good idea. Let's go. Let's
I
rumble
was,
spooky.
I was gonna talk about Hansel and Gretel.
Why is it only now that I realize that that was cannibalism? Like, I always understood that they were going to be cooked and eaten. I never actually, like, put two and two together until this exact moment. God, that reminded me of when I thought tar was extinct until I thought about it. Yeah.
It's okay, Coburn. It's okay.
Is it, though?
Yes, it is.
My man, I thought tar died. I thought tar was wiped out with the dinosaurs. That's why we didn't see any of those big bubbly tar pits anymore.
But yeah, Hansel and Gretel. Yeah, that was cannibalism. They tried to fatten up, and our good friend Tar is still with us. Have no fear. Thank you, Paco.
Yes, thank you. You've given peace to my rumbled soul.
So here's the thing. They knew that fattening children would make them taste better. How? This was Germany.
I mean, I got 3 answers for you that might... well, okay, pardon me. I have 3 words for you that might be kind of fucked up to say in a specific order. Trial by error.
Oh God, Carl. Oh no.
Though actually, now I think about it, there's a Wendigo story that's very similar to Hansel and Gretel.
Really?
Yeah. So basically, this Wendigo, and this is like one of the stories that's supposed to like show that Wendigo, A, are not going to be killed if you just blow off its legs, and B, are smarter than people give them credit for. They're not just beasts. They do... Okay, their instincts are very beast-like. Yeah, they will eat you. They will eat you. But they do have enough cunning. like a human cutting.
Mm-hmm.
Like this Wendigo basically found a kid out in the woods, but the kid wasn't fat enough yet. He wanted more meat on those bones, so he could get a proper meal as a family. So basically, he just kind of kept feeding the kid berries and stuff from out in the wilderness, and kept cutting his hand to see how much fat was there. Just each day he would cut his hand, just see how fatty he was. And eventually he was like, okay, the forest is not nourishing you enough for my liking. You're gonna go into that town, okay? You're gonna go in there, you're not gonna tell anyone about me, and you're gonna get some food, and you're gonna come back. And the kid's like, okay. So he went in there and immediately told people about the Wendigo. And they fed the kid and brought out a fucking mob and basically just cut the fucker's legs off. And they were like, yep, that's good enough. And for any creature, you would expect that to be good enough. But then they were like, that thing was kind of scary. We should probably go back and see if it's like dead or. And when they got back, they saw it just kind of sitting there sucking the marrow out of its own legs. So that didn't kill it. And now they have to do it the old-fashioned way with like white ash sticks and like burning its fucking heart and shit.
It's like a vampire.
Yeah, to an extent. Yeah. But then again, just in a lot of cultures, burning shit seems to be the pretty good way of destroying something.
That's because in a lot of cultures, fire was very cleansing.
Oh. Be cleansed of this world, idiot.
Be cleansed of this world, foul beast, and then that's why they burned witches at the stake.
Bitch, I eat people.
People!
Yes, Box. Yes. Precisely. Wendigo
No.
could probably deal half the Alucard amount of damage to people. Yeah, about half. Yeah. Oh, but those mythos you were talking about.
The mythos, yeah. There was Cronus, who ate all of his kids, and then a rock.
All right, gotta wash it down with something.
And that leads me to a very sensitive topic.
What kind of sensitive topic?
There's infanticide cannibalism. We're
Oh, that.
essentially,
All right.
yeah,
Let me think.
yeah. So basically, they would take a child and say, "Hey, he's really not kind of fit to live," and then cook him with a bunch of other meats.
Well, yeah, it's a fucking kid. What do you mean not fit to live? Like, if you put him in the Hunger Games, it's gonna die? Yeah? What does that mean?
That's just what it says on the wiki.
Oh, let's see. The case of the Hungarian noblewoman Elizabeth Bathory. Bathory?
Bathory.
Bathory is also very interesting. Not only was she supposedly a cannibal, but she also reported to have bathed in human blood. I think it means this one ain't gonna make it. I mean, like what? It lost its arms and legs in the war? Like, it's sick? Do you want to eat something that's sick?
Also, it's also if a child was considered unwanted.
Okay, that's an interesting abortion process.
Oh God.
Like birth
Birth
defects and
defects.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. Oh, my friend, okay, I can see, I can follow the thought. I don't cancel me now. I think it's a
I
little.
think that's a little portion.
I mean, okay, look,
Oh
where do
god.
you think baby back ribs come from?
Convert, stop digging yourself in this hole. No,
Okay, okay.
no. You want to be a streamer, you gotta take the risk. First episode's going great.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh, oh god.
We haven't gotten into the Wichuke yet.
Oh yeah.
We don't need to. Right now, maybe we should brush over the infanticide stuff.
Yeah, let's just kind of.
That's a dangerous topic.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there's a lot of skepticism behind the recorded cannibalism because it was mostly recorded by, European people about not European people. So a lot of people have said, "Hey, this is really like, let's see, culturally like has an air of cultural superiority kind of to it." Where it says, "Hey, we don't eat people, so we're better."
From the dawn of the word cannibalism, this was true. Oh.
Let's see.
Tune in next episode when Cavern tries out a placenta as part of his new mukbang channel.
Oh god.
I feel like I'm socially obligated not to respond to that, but I really want to.
Oh god. What is going on?
We'll see if I'm still streaming around Halloween.
Shut up.
Fine, Valentine's Day.
Oh! Jesus Christ, covered.
I could even wash it down with some rocks.
You cut out, but I don't want to know.
Maybe I could wash it down with some rocks.
With some rocks.
With some rocks.
Let's see. And there is an essay that based its thesis on a detailed analysis of various classic cases of cannibalism reported by explorers, missionaries, and anthropologists. He claims that all of them were steeped in racism, unsubstantiated, or based in second-hand or hearsay evidence. Although widely discussed, Aaron's book generally failed to convince the academic community.
Alright, fair enough.
Claude Levi Strauss,
Hmm.
who is very French, observes that in spite of his brilliant but superficial book, no serious ethnologist disputes the reality of cannibalism. Ethnology.
That might also be a sticky one to talk about, but I think we could be pretty confident and say that like cannibalism isn't a single like ethnicity thing. Like
no, it is not.
No one came. No, I can't say that. No one came out of the womb saying, "You know what? I think I want to try my brother." I think. Okay, let me rephrase. No one of any given ethnicity said that. I'm sure it's probably come across an infant's mind once or twice, or 3 times, or 4.
Oh god.
Look, have you seen Charlie bit my finger? It's happening already. There's a reason children teeth.
God. Uh, all right.
Mm?
I was gonna say back to the mythos.
Yes.
The Zuni people tell a story of Atasaya. I think it's pronounced Atasaya. Is a giant who cannibalizes demons and seeks out human flesh.
Okay. First, Paco, thank you. He says, loving this podcast already. Great content, people.
Thank you.
Thank you. Second, that was metal as fuck until it got to the humans, and then it was metal in a different way.
It just cannibalizes you. I'm gonna pull up the wiki on that. So
Also, is it really cannibalism if he's a giant?
yeah, because he cannibalized his own race, which was
Okay, I
demon.
see. Oh,
And then
demon.
he's a giant demon, and then he just so happens to eat people. His main diet consists of demons.
Which culture is this guy from?
This is from the Zuni culture
Nope, I don't know shit about them.
of the southwestern United States. This is like native stuff.
Hmm. Speaking of like native stuff,
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good time to talk about the Witchuge.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna need to give some, just a little bit of context here.
Mm-hmm.
So let me spit out this gum. This is even better than eating on stream. I don't get any nutrition from this. All right, so this is from the, I want to say, Danza tribe, DANE-ZAA, Dane Za, something like that. But because I'm not of that culture and just butchered it like 3 times, I'm just gonna call it the Beaver tribe because that's what it translates to.
Okay.
This is something within the Beaver tribe's like culture. Like this is their creation myth, so to speak, though not quite creation. You'll see. So the idea is, long before humans were the apex predator in, primeval like North America, giant beasts, in some cases magical beasts, roamed the earth. I am saying they believe in kaiju. Yep, they believe in kaiju, which is fucking awesome. But like these individual, I'm calling them kaiju. These individual kaiju were basically called like blank people. Like there were frog people, which is just a giant fucking frog. Like spider people, giant spider, etc., etc. And they ate humans. Imagine that. They basically hunted humans down, forced them to live in caves, and that's just how the world was. Until one day, a hero named Saya was born. I shouldn't do that. This is an actual culture and they believe this. That was mean. Okay, until one day a hero named Saya was born. Saya's stepmother tricked his father. I don't know the details of what the fuck this means, but tricked his father in one way or another into abandoning Saya on an island. That feels like a pretty big gotcha if that was actually like deceit that did that. Like, yo, yep, you know how I put that blindfold on you and just kind of made you leave the island? Guess what? I didn't bring Saya with me. Get pranked. I don't. I don't know how that works, but that's what's written down. So basically, Saya basically just came to terms with his death, that he was going to die here. And when he did, a voice spoke to him and basically just told him how to survive and gave him some supernatural protections. My man basically got like protection for armor. Except without the armor, protection for skin. basically guided by the good spirits, basically the kaiju that didn't want to eat people, and armed with supernatural abilities that he was given by said kaiju, he basically slayed many of the monsters. He wasn't able to kill them all. It was mainly believed that a lot of them fled underground, which is, in some tellings of the story, why there are mountains. Like, they fled underground, and thus the earth raised up because of their presence.
Huh.
Yeah, it's neat. And after he killed each of these monsters, he would basically cut them into pieces and tell the dead flesh, hey, you're gonna be this animal, and you're gonna fucking like it. And then they did. And then they liked it. Yeah. He was able to cut apart a giant spider until it became a fucking mongoose. That's a thing he could do.
That's a thing he could do.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And by killing so many of these, monsters and driving them underground, it allowed humans to become the new apex predator. So, now, whenever a male, or I don't know if they still do this, but I know at least for a long while, they did do this. Upon a male's maturity in the beaver tribe, they would go on a sort of vision quest, much how Saya did when he, was on the island, abandoned, and he heard the voice. If it was successful, they would basically go into the wilderness and enter a sort of dreamlike state and speak to one of these medicine animals, they are called. The kaiju under the mountains. I just said those words. That's fucking metal. I've said this fucking metal so many times during the stream, and I'm gonna say so many more. And one of, basically when they spoke to these, big animals on their vision quest, they would basically receive supernatural abilities and a taboo. Should the taboo be knowingly broken, you would basically become too powerful, so to speak. Like, the primeval spirit within you would just kind of possess you and take you over. Basically making you into, not physically into what they were, like these giant kaiju creatures, but you would have that man-eating tendency again, is the idea. And it has to be knowingly broken. So if your taboo is, say, a guy... Okay, so here's one. One man's medicine animal was a spider. The spider. The big spider. The big boy spider. And his taboo is that he cannot listen to string music. He can't listen to any sounds produced by a taut string, because the spider, its main way of hunting way back when, was that it would basically strum its web to get curious humans to come out and try and find what that low humming sound was, and then murder them. And if someone's playing, guitar music and they don't know anything about your culture, right? They can't break your taboo. But if they do know about it and they go brown on a guitar, you might start becoming too powerful. The primeval spirit might start fucking with you. And you have a limited amount of time to reverse the damage that has been done, or you will become a Wachuge. And there are different, medicine animals, medicine spirits, that you basically get, a taboo different from each one. Like I said, for the spider, you can't listen to strumming instruments. Frogs, you can't, I think it's, the frog one was pretty hazy from what I found, but the frog, I think, was you can't eat, flies or fly larvae, which does come up in a hot second in my notes, so that'll be fun to talk about. I remember. I think there was one more. Right, yes. One man's medicine animal was the Thunderbird. And someone tried to take a picture of this man with a flash camera, and when he noticed the flash, he dove under a blanket, because this woman that was trying to take their picture did know of their culture. And meaning, if that flash was able to properly, take the picture of him with flash, he would start becoming a Wachuge. So,
Huh.
yeah, Thunderbird. So, whenever they would become overwhelmed by these primeval spirits, and they, would get these man-eating tendencies, that is when they become a proper Wachuge. It didn't turn them into mindless monsters, mind you. It basically just made them slaves to their cannibalistic urges. Like, how you can't really just stop breathing. It's more like a you have to do this.
I see. Okay.
And let's see. I did my notes out of order from how I said them, so now I have to go find it again. Where the fuck is it? Yeah. So if you don't know about it, like if I were to take a picture of the guy with the Thunderbird medicine animal, like the child could take the picture. It's not entirely. It would still make the individual uncomfortable. Most likely, it comes down to the individual, but unless you know about their culture, it cannot be broken. Let's see. Oh,
Sure, it's
right.
very flexible.
Yeah, it is. But like an example of like a Wachuge transformation is basically this. There was an old guy, basically like around 70, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
He can't hunt for himself, so basically, hunters bring him meat from hunts so he could eat and not die. One day, some outsiders bring him meat that was basically like there were flies flying around it. There were, like fly eggs in it, like larvae.
Ugh.
Yep, all fun. And he, with no real way to properly communicate with this guy, like with the outsiders, just took it because it was a gift. Culturally, he was forced to. So when he ate it, the flies broke his taboo. It's not entirely stated what about the taboo was broken, but in this narrator's opinion, it was probably eating flies. Uh, Basically, when it broke his taboo, it basically had him jumping around on the furniture and yelling. Which, again, to us, is the kind of thing it's like, you okay, dude? Like, do you need help? Because that is some batshit behavior to us. And it is to them too, but in a different way. Like, to us, it's this man needs to be admitted into a mental hospital stat. For them, it's if we don't do something about this, this guy's gonna become an immortal cannibal with his insides made of ice, and he's gonna start hurting people a lot. But luckily, this can be reversed before you become a full Wachuge. Like, the man's daughter was able to get him his medicine blanket and sang his medicine song. I don't entirely know what those words mean in that order, but I assume it's a spiritual sort of thing, like a spiritual blanket. Calm him down, spiritual song. I could see that. I'm pulling that out of my ass, though. It might actually just be a medicine blanket. I don't know. It could be like a blanket knitted out of ibuprofen. I have no fucking clue.
I don't know what it means, but it sounds wholesome. Thank you, Bach. It's a cozy blanket and a song. It's a little lullaby for your soul.
I probably actually. That sounds about right concerning the culture. But Wachuge, when they actually become a full individual, like Wachuge, like proper monster Wachuge, they're basically nigh immortal cannibals. Like, their insides have turned to ice, and to kill them, you have to melt them in a fire. Or another way of killing it is if you get white ash and like cover like a weapon with it, or if you like had a white ash covered bullet, that'd do the trick. You could also get like a charred stick and jab it into the neck of one, which is a actual story about that.
Once again, the fire comes up.
Yeah, yeah, it does. There's a lot of comparisons between Wachuge and Wendigo, actually.
Is that another cultural constant?
Uh, I don't know about cultural constant for this one because they are relatively close to each other. It is very it's
Oh,
very
okay.
easy to see them like being the same creature at some point and then under just wildly different circumstances they morphed into the Wichuge and the Wendigo.
Oh, okay.
Let's
Still
see.
an interesting case
Yeah, it is.
of
And
how.
these guys are also intelligent too. Like they keep their cunning and whatnot. And I think the most, at least story wise, the most intelligent Wichuge I've ever heard of. Culture constants are the cultural equivalents to non-convergent evolution, and I'm here for it.
To conversion evolution, and I'm here for it. Wonderful.
My
We will
screen is dirty.
we will cover that in a different stream, or if we go for long enough, we may cover that in this stream. I don't know.
We may. I don't know. We may not. We'll see. But, like, the most intelligent Wichuge, and this is just from the stories I know, the most
Mhm.
intelligent Wichuge seems to be more intelligent than the most intelligent Wendigo that I know about. I say this because the most intelligent Wichuge I know about is one that basically offered fish to people as though it was, you know, very kind and wholesome cannibal invincible man. But, you know, he looked like a person, so you couldn't go, ah, that's a Wichuge, yeah, immediately. But he offered fish next to a lake to travelers that were passing by, and he offered it to them based, like, he offered these fish platters that had these like runes and these monsters carved into the wood because they were wooden plates.
It's cool as
And
hell.
it is cool as hell, but it was also cursed.
Ah.
Yep. So whenever they would actually like take the fish and eat it, because they took it off of that plate, I assume, I don't actually have the magic behind it. I just have the stories. They basically died after eating the fish an amount of time later. So he would basically go over to the people that are already dead and eat them. So that's how that was his.
That was his modus operandi for
Yeah, magic and then eat, basically.
basically.
But that's actually the one to go. That's actually the Wichuge that ended up getting murdered by the charred sticks in the neck. A okay, it basically offered its fish because it was, you know, by a lake and people did go to that lake and they knew there was an immortal cannibal by that lake, but they went there, you know, because they're fucking hungry. They need food, or, you know, they're gonna die anyway, so might as well.
Mhm.
And the Wichuge didn't attack people directly, so as long as you didn't like make any deals with the devil over there, you should be fine. But this buffalo boy, I don't know what that means. It might be
Okay.
that buffalo was like his medicine animal.
Maybe.
It might be that he was half buffalo. I don't actually know. It doesn't specify. But basically, this half buffalo boy, what the fuck that means, uh, decided that he was going to go over there and see about, you know, outsmarting this boy, outsmarting this Wichuge, which in most instances I would probably call a bad idea. Then again, I'd probably call trying to outsmart a bear a bad idea. Even if they aren't very intelligent, they can still rip you to fucking pieces. But basically, he basically had the Wichuge offer up his fish to him, and he basically ate it. And the Wichuge gave him more because he was still alive, and then he ate that. The just because he was half buffalo, he could eat as much fish as he wanted because reasons I don't know, but he could guzzle fish forever. And when the Wichuge realized this, he was like, "Hey, you little bastard, that's mine." So he was basically, you vomit that fish up right here. I fucking want that fish. Fuck you. Give me it back. So the buffalo basically vomits up a frog, which the Wichuge eats. I don't know. I don't know why. I could not give you the reason why. I know. I don't know. I don't get it. And granted, okay, I will say this. This is me saying this from like 3 generations down of people that have heard this story and is retelling it. And the farthest back that I can recall, or that I can recall, that I know of, also says he didn't know the story very well. So, I guess just take the story, know it's probably almost right, and laugh at the parts that aren't. But,
alrighty then.
but he basically eats this frog, and because it's, you know, that kind of frog, he's basically paralyzed.
Oh god.
So, Buffalo Boy leaves, and later on, the wife of this Wichuge, because apparently they can have wives, basically comes over to this Buffalo Boy and says, "Hey! What the fuck did you do? What did you do to my husband? Come fix him." And he's like, okay, I'll fix your hubby. And then when he went back, he just kind of stabbed him in the neck a few times with a charred stick and killed him. So, you know, pretty good guy. I'm not gonna say that the Wichuge was, you know, like, undeserving of that, but wow. Dick move. But, yeah, like, Wichuge and Wendigo are very similar in a lot of ways, and if you don't stop them from... Oh, that's right! One more Wichuge story that I'm remembering! Okay, I have this one written down. Alright, so, one Wichuge, yes, this is a freshly turned Wichuge.
Mm-hmm.
It basically went outside of a man's home and basically called out his name. You know, when he stepped out, being like, the newspaper here? He got his neck snapped, and the Wichuge is like, haha, I took your flesh, and then left. So... So, when he snapped the guy's neck and then ate a bit of him, he left, and the man's family was like, okay, revenge time! So they went out and tried to fight this Wichuge. And basically they were arguing about who was going to be the first one to take a shot at it, take a crack at this motherfucker. The first one that did got fucking rocked. Actually fucking bodied. But the second guy that did actually had like an hour-long wrestling match with it before it, quote, picked it up and then broke its back over his knee, which, guess what? Self-fulfilling prophecy was fucking metal. My man Bane broke a fucking Wichuge. And this didn't kill it. This didn't kill it, but it did paralyze it. And it was basically on the ground screaming, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna fucking murder you all. So, they didn't take kindly to that and decided to throw him into a fire.
Oh!
Where he burned for an entire night, an entire day, before he actually died.
Christ alive!
Well, not quite anymore. So, yeah. Wendigo and Wichuge.
I actually found a document that details how to prepare and cook a human body, if you want me to read that on stream.
I need to read TOS. This feels academic.
It is very academic in nature.
Let's not, and then we can recover it later after we both read TOS together and figure out whether or not giving a cookbook for people is a good idea.
Pup says screw TOS, do it.
Okay, Pup, are you looking for a tutorial? But also, thank you for coming, Pup. Screw TOS, do it. I mean, I could just unarchive the stream. Maybe. Okay, Pup.
I'll DM
right.
it to you later.
How about this? How about this? Okay, how many people are watching the stream right now? 5? 5 people that probably won't report us, right? Probably. You guys are cool.
You guys are cool, right?
Yeah, you guys are cool, right?
You guys are neat.
Instructions unclear, stuck in my oven. Well, actually, if you've ever read Cask of Amontillado... You're halfway there. Ah! I wonder.
Alright, I'm gonna pull up the document. I think it's on my Google Drive.
I'm also just going to be reading through TOS and seeing if this is a bad idea while you do this.
Okay.
And also realizing that my background music has stopped. How dare you, YouTube? I'm gonna have to find a different, I'm gonna have to find a different fucking background music site.
Okay, so... Okay, I found it. What does TOS say?
A lot. I'm trying. You just start talking. I'll start screaming if I find something that says you may not speak of cannibalism.
Okay. I'm just gonna read this word by word, if you don't mind. This is a very long document. Also comes with a recipe!
God.
So I'm gonna ask chat if you really want me to do this.
It doesn't, just from a glance, it doesn't look like it's directly against TOS, so we should be good.
Okay.
You've already gotten my appetite up.
Ah,
Delicious.
shut up, Fox.
We love Caucasian food here.
Okay, so let's close the wiki page for Psychosis and let's get started. So, before getting to the main task, it must be mentioned that the complete rendering of the human carcass requires a fairly large amount of time, effort, and space. If the consumer does not wish to go through the ordeal of processing or storing the bulk of the entire animal, an easy alternative is as follows. Simply saw through one or both legs at the points directly below the groin and a few inches above the knee. Once skinned, these portions may be cut into the round steaks of the carver's preferred thickness, cut into fillets, deboned for a roast, etc. Meat for several meals is thus readily obtained without the need for gutting and the complexities of preparing the entire form. Let's see. Have we lost any viewers yet? No. Okay, so
I'll let you know when my Twitch account is taken down.
okay. The human being, also referred to culinarily as the long pig and the hairless goat in case of younger specimens, is not generally thought as a staple food source. Observing the anatomy and skeleton, one can see that the animal is neither built nor bred for its meat, and as such will not provide nearly as much flesh as a pig or a cow. For example, the average 1,000-pound steer breaks down to provide 432 pounds of saleable beef. Large central pelvis, broad shoulder blades also interfere with achieving perfect cuts. There are advantages to this, however, especially due to the fact that the typical specimen will weigh between 100 and 200 pounds, easily manipulated by one person with sufficient leverage. Here's the caution in choosing your meal. Must be mentioned. It is very important to remember that the animals raised for slaughter are kept in tightly controlled environments with their health and diet carefully maintained. Humans are not. Thus, not only is the meat of each person varying in quality, but people are also subject to an enormous range of diseases, infections, chemical imbalances, and poisonous bad habits, all typically increasing with age. Also, as an animal ages, the meat loses tenderness, becoming tough and stringy. No farm animal is ever allowed to age for 30 years. 6 to 13 months old is a more common slaughtering point. You will obviously want a youthful but mature, physically fit human in apparently good health. A certain amount of fat is desired as marbling to add a juicy, flavorful quality to the meat. We personally prefer firm Caucasian females in their early 20s. These are quote unquote ripe, but tastes vary and it is a very large herd.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did I just hear Caucasian? My joke just. Oh, whoop.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
I love how we have another viewer. Okay. The butcher will need a fairly roomy space in which to work. An interior location is suggested, and a large table for a butcher's block. A central overhead support will need to be chosen or installed ahead of time to hang the carcasses from. Large tubs or barrels for blood and waste trimming should be convenient, and a water source close by. Most of the work can be done with a few simple tools: sharp, clean, short and long bladed knives, a cleaver or a hatchet, and a hacksaw. I can't believe I'm reading this on stream.
Oh, you don't want to. The second part
Alright.
The second part of that is I can. If you don't want to read it, I guess it could be like my downfall if I read it, but I'll leave that up to you.
Also, I'd like to note that this comes from the Church of Euthanasia.
My brain is having a... My brain is having an irrationally long time processing that sentence. But, okay. Gotta spit out some more brain and or gum. Actually, maybe for a...
I don't know if I feel comfortable reading the rest of this.
In which case, don't.
Alright, I won't.
I shouldn't say what I was about to say then.
This got super serious, super quick.
I am really interested to hear what had you stop, but alright.
Okay.
Maybe just like send that to me later.
Or do I continue?
Or we can do a cooking stream.
Dear God.
Anyone up for a little finger food?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright, I might continue reading.
We don't have to go all in, we could just stick a toe in first.
Alright. Body preparation. Acquiring your subject is up to you. For best results in health, freshness is imperative. A living human in captivity is optimal but not always available.
Captivity. Woo.
Captivity. When possible, make sure the animal has no food for 48 hours but plenty of water. This fasting helps flush the system, purging stored toxins and bodily waste, as well as making bleeding and cleaning easier. Under ideal conditions, the specimen will then be stunned into insensitivity. Sharp, unexpected blows to the head are best. Tranquilizers not being recommended as they may taint the flavor of the meat. If this is not possible without exciting the animal and causing a struggle, which will pump a greater volume of blood and secretions such as adrenaline throughout the body, a single bullet through the middle of the forehead or the back of the skull will suffice.
Okay, okay. Pup says that you don't have to keep reading if you don't want to, and I want to reiterate that if you don't want to keep reading, you don't have to. Like, how about this? Okay, we will make sure it's not against TOS, and then we might try and revisit it in a more lighthearted method.
I will just send this to you, and then we'll revisit it.
All right.
I need to get the heebie-jeebies out of me. Because I have examined this document before. In my edgy phases.
Heebie-jeebies don't make you taste as good.
I
wonder what are some other cannibalistic monsters in culture. I mean, there's the like classic examples like zombies, right?
Zombie, where they just eat brains. I think.
I think it depends on the type of zombie, like from what culture.
Yeah.
Except Jesus, because he's special, I guess. Or maybe he did eat brains. Imagine that. I'm not gonna say that. That's gonna get me canceled fast.
Quick question.
Ooh.
If you know the little communion wafers, right? They're supposed to represent Jesus' body.
Oh, wafers. Okay, yeah.
So, does this imply that almost every Christian follower is a cannibal?
There are a lot of answers to that, but that's actually a pretty interesting question. Like, say that... Well, okay, actually. Okay, so Jesus is supposed to be, if I recall correctly, like the perfect blend between human and God, right?
Yeah.
So... that's half right? That we're half cannibals? Like, it's not really us.
You speak in French?
Oh, oui, oui. Like, it's... like, Jesus is like half god, half human. So if a human were to eat it, if it's only half human, is that still cannibalism? Like, what is the exact definition of human? Or not human, cannibalism?
What is the human to god ratio you're willing to accept? To eat?
That is a very... and would it... would a higher god ratio make you more or less fucked up? Is eating a god kosher?
God kosher. I don't know. Let's see. What percentage of human is acceptable to consume in profit produce?
Okay, that's... now we're getting somewhere. Profit produce. I like to imagine God's just up there sitting on his cloud throne, just being like, maybe it's time for another flood. It sure reminds me, giants. Giants ate flesh, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Giant. Oh no, was it giants that are? Was it Norse giants I'm thinking of, or is it like Christian giants I'm thinking of?
Christian giants.
Oh yeah, like the Nephilim.
Oh, wait. What do you... Oh yeah, they're pretty big.
No, I mean like they were also like called giants.
The big man is about to break a big. Is about to break a big promise. And we're at fault. Just the two of us.
We can make it if we try.
Try, just the two of us. Oh god.
Another question, is Jesus a 50-50 split between God and human? Or is it like more God than human?
Is God built different? Does he have like different genes or like?
I mean, since he came first, I think it's supposed to be that we're built worse.
Does God have DNA?
That's a very good question.
I love how it went from cannibalism to does God have DNA?
Yeah, that's the good shit. Welcome to Weirdness. Like, okay. I think it depends on which god. Like, are we talking like the Christian god?
The Christian God, yeah. The big man.
Okay, so what is DNA exactly? Self-replicating material is present in nearly all living organisms as the main constituent of chromosomes. Is God a living organism? Is he an organism? Or is he just like...
Is he made out of cells?
See, this is the kind of thinking that would have us burned. But, you know, I'm a ginger, so I'm already like... I already got like half a foot on the pyre anyway.
God having DNA implies he is somehow material, I think. Thank you, Paco, for that contribution. Is God material? Or is he entirely spiritual?
One could also argue that he may be entirely material as well. Like, everything we know is him to a degree. I feel like this is the kind of question we need to ask a pope.
You cut out.
So I think this is the kind of question we need to ask a pope.
A pope or the pope?
I mean, unless the pope is immortal, then a pope. I don't know if he's gonna be in, you know, in that position if we ever get the chance to ask him.
Might need to change the tag to religion now.
Is it still Francis? Is Francis still the pope right now?
Hold on. Who's the current pope?
Who's Alucard sending love letters to?
Pope Francis!
Alright, cool. He's cool. I like him. I think he, like, watches anime and play, or, like, listen to Megalovania or something. I like Pope Francis.
Oh my god. So... implying that God is, around us and like it's pervasive in everything. That's very old Christian, I think. The Christians that got burned for not being Catholic, and it's possible.
So the long and short of it is we don't know.
We really don't know. We can have our theories, but we don't know. If the stream is a railway of the bandit dynamiting the tracks.
You were right, but honestly, we could just pick another other topic from the stream stuff and just go with that. Like, do you got anything else regarding cannibalism we can go into? Alright, Boxy. Matt Pat is watching. not the stream, you. If you say he's like a one to go, if you say his name, if you say it's just a theory, he'll come for you. He'll drag you into a video. Why is bite me something that AutoMod wants to... there. And yeah, Matt Pat might bite you. Is that the bite of 23?
I am just now thinking about the possibility of does God have a material form?
There's another question in my head that is interesting.
Yes.
If he does have a material form, are we meant to find it? I hear you, Ed! It's unskippable! Release me!
Matt Pat would bite someone.
Yeah, he would. Mongrel, sure.
Mongrel?
Yeah, well, it doesn't anymore. Oh, sorry, we both know a bit about, oh, we wanted to save... I guess we can give like a little teaser of what might come out. By the way, if you want to avoid copyright and ads, try out Pretzel. Yeah, go for it, Paco.
Go nuts!
Do we want to give them a little, an idea of what we might go into next stream? By me suggesting that we go into it this stream? Like, first off, do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I know what you're talking about, but...
I will give a single word that will hopefully spark your memory and confirm what it is, while also giving them a teaser. Treasure.
Let me pull up the stream stuff again.
Here, I'll just highlight. Alright, actually, let me see if I can highlight it. Is it on here? Whoops. Nope, it is not. Okay, I'll just send it to you over DMs.
All right, we could do that. We could move into that now if you wanted to.
We could. I don't have like an extensive list of notes on that though, so I'm not gonna be able to like pull out these like grand stories like I did this time. But
I do.
yo, time for you to shine.
As if I haven't shown already with the preparation of a human carcass.
That's true. Do you know anything about the real fuck was his name? Was it Aleister Crowley?
Aleister Crowley? I don't know much about Aleister Crowley.
Like as
I
far as
pulled his wiki.
as far as I know, he's the namesake for Guess Who.
Yeah.
But what? Honestly, I think we save this. I think we save this for another.
Okay.
We save
Because
this and we go
Aleister
into
Crowley
it later.
is very interesting.
Yeah, he is. Like we got entire like wizard battles and shit.
Also, there's a secret order that we have to go into.
A secret. Oh, you're not. Was that secret?
Its name is literally the Secret Order of the Golden Dawn. Yeah.
That's a pretty shittily kept secret.
If it's on the wiki.
Okay, cool.
We almost have 2 hours, yeah.
Sure. We could stop around the 2-hour mark and then, like, properly get an idea. It's on the wikis, but the least secret you can get, yeah. We could call it around 2 hours and then, convene, see about what we can do better.
That would be good. We could talk to our audience.
That's true. Also, let's see if there's anything else we want to actually go into before we actually do start talking to the audience. Like, true and proper.
Chat, what do you want us to go into?
I mean, alright, fair enough. I feel like that might be a bit lazy, but alright, yeah. If they got anything, we can see if we can, apply any knowledge we got on it.
Yeah.
And if you do any suggestions, use very experimental lingo. Oh, that reminds me.
Yeah?
Spud,
Yeah?
you bred this ginger?
No! Oh god, you said it on the stream!
I had to.
Oh god!
I had to.
No! No, you didn't!
I did.
No, you
I
didn't.
promise. It was the Wendigo. He did it. He made me do it.
This man. Oh god. Pop smuggler. I'm sorry? You did what to the ginger?
Go on, tell him.
No!
Tell them more.
No! No!
Go on.
We were talking about Christmas and gingerbread, and then I had a very intrusive thought.
I believe it was gingerbread, like, spice with, like, gingerbread.
Yeah, it was
Like-
a coffee I was drinking. It was gingerbread coffee with gingerbread creamer and the ramifications and solutions to the Fermi paradox. Okay, thank you, Paco.
You rambunctious kelpies. Oh. Okay. Alright, so, first question. The fuck is the Fermi paradox?
Okay, the Fermi paradox is the discrepancy between the lack of conclusive evidence of advanced extraterrestrial life and the apparently high likelihood of its existence.
Hmm.
As a 2015 article put it, if life is so easy, someone from somewhere must have come calling by now.
I mean, there's also the whole, like, idea of, like, if there are aliens, why would they come see us?
There's a bunch of theories as to why they haven't.
Such as, they don't know we exist. Or if they do, they don't care that we exist.
My favorite theory is that we're the quarantine planet.
That would be interesting if that was true. The pox that is humanity. Then again, they probably just end up killing. Like, if they were able to, like, properly get to us, they could kill us. If they really wanted to, they could kill us.
Speaking of, oh god, we could talk about Thetans and Scientology.
Aww. I personally submit to the idea that we're just really early to the party. That is also very possible. Like, if I recall correctly, like, the probability that there's, like, the amount of life-bearing planets out there is, like, somewhere around, like, 7 or something like that. Like, between 3 and 7. But that's, like, from a fun fact that I remember from years ago. Talk about alien ghosts and volcanoes now. Well, you see, how do you think Yellowstone came to be, Now I have to switch out cannibalism for conspiracy theories. As a probability of life existing, the Drake equation exists. I wish people started telling me what they were as was just telling me the names of them, because I never remember the names. Drake equation. Why there are official searches for human alien life. 12,500 intelligent alien civilizations which may exist. This is just a guess, but shows why some scientists think it will be easy to discover alien life. That number feels way too high for the thing that I recall, but at the same time, honestly, aliens in and of themselves could be a very, very long stream.
Yes, it could be. We will put that in the banks.
Yes, that we will. Actually, you know what? For any chat that can actually speak right now, what are your thoughts on the ship of Theseus? Like, if a ship is just plank by plank, bit by bit, just taken apart, right? Its pieces are drifting in the ocean somewhere. And replaced. In your opinion, is it still the ship of Theseus, or is it, say, a new ship? Now, while we wait for any answers,
it's the same and a different ship.
I think it depends on how you're looking at it. If you're a ship registry, it's the same thing. If you're looking at it from a span of like materials, the original ship is drifting in the ocean somewhere as rotting wood. I just got an idea that I'm gonna have to talk to you about after we wrap up stream.
All right. Sorry, I keep muting. I am just absolutely dying. I am very ill.
Yeah, it's fine. Once a margin of planks are replaced that ensures more than half the materials for the ship are gone, you're not dealing with the same ship as before. I can very easily see that take.
But why? Why do you believe that?
Fucking yokai, we need to go in those too.
Yep.
Alright, I think we're gonna wrap it up in around 10 minutes. So, a question for anyone that's still around. Are there any topics you'd like to see us cover throughout an entire stream? It can be as vague, as specific as as you want. Just keep in mind that the easier it is to put into layman terms, the more likely we're gonna do it. Quote, by definition, one plank being removed and replaced would make it a different ship than the same name, but I digress. I mean, but again, by whose definition?
Oh, we could talk about radiation, yeah.
Yeah, alright.
Actually, we just talked about that before stream.
We did. Oh, Boxy. I need to send you a demon core at some point. That's like the best birthday present. Would you like a demon core? Also, according to the Japanese, always remain the same ship. Define according to the Japanese.
Is this like a Japanese philosopher, or just Japanese culture, or...?
They dealt with this when we were building shrines after Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Whoops.
Oh.
Well, then again,
Whoops.
when it comes to shrines and whatnot, one could argue that there's a more spiritual, like, connection between that area and the god. So, nukes may not be able to get rid of all of the shrine. Hell, it may just be the area itself that's more important than the actual, like the bricks that build up the shrine. But at the same time, I'm talking out of my ass. Maybe, maybe not. We can talk about that too. We can go into different instances of the ship of Theseus throughout history.
Yeah.
Discuss the possibility of different planetoids existing in the solar system that have yet to be found, as per telescopes and information not being sufficient. There are a great deal of theory and speculation, but I feel like it could make for a good topic. I'd have to look into it, but very possibly. The idea is that if it holds the same name and the same purpose, it is the same thing. Yeah, that's also a very valid way of looking at it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, I can't go into it yet, but I will when we end stream. Oh, without radiation, we could also go into, like, Chernobyl and whatnot.
Yes, we could.
Chernobyl, Demon Core.
The several reactor meltdowns across the planet.
The different possibilities that we could do with radiation. And perhaps a certain material that has appeared when meltdowns have occurred. I feel like over half of the chat knows what I'm saying when I say that, but whatever. Orphan source incidents.
What does that mean?
I feel like that was supposed to be open source, but I don't know. Hold on. Orphan source incident. An orphan source is a radioactive source that poses sufficient radiological hazard to warrant regulatory control, but which is not under regulatory control because it has never been so, or because it has been abandoned, lost, misplaced, stolen, or otherwise transferred without proper authorization. Ah.
Huh.
I think I actually remember something along those lines. Oh, there's also a lot of psychology we could go into when it comes to, radiation.
Talk about how radiation could affect the brain.
If radiation is something you're interested in, learning about Lake Karake could be a thing.
Karche? I'm not sure.
The Soviets dumped a lot of waste in there.
Oh.
Yeah, thank God for the Soviets. Why in a lake?
They had no. I don't know. They didn't want to put it near their citizens, I guess, but a lot of people dump things into the ocean. Why not a lake?
Wait. Couldn't you just kind of do, like, you know, bury it somewhere?
I don't know. I'm not a Soviet.
That's fair. I don't know, Spud, you're talking very red over there. Are you entirely sure you're not a Soviet?
Yes, I'm entirely sure that I am not a Soviet.
You're entirely sure you're not a Soviet?
Oh God, it's red! No!
You're
How could
entirely sure, Kami?
No!
Alright, there.
Alright.
Okay. So, orphan sources. We should probably write this down. Okay, we'll write this down after stream. But orphan sources, ship of Theseus in different cultures, radiation, the lake. The lake of Karake, lake of karaoke. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Whether or not breeding gingers is legal.
What? What?
Aliens too. And I think that's about it. Is there anything you want to say to chat before we wrap this up?
Chat, what could we have done better? This is our first episode, so I just want to know what we could have done better so that we can improve for you guys.
That would be very nice information to know, yeah.
Yeah, that would be very nice.
I think I got a few ideas of how to improve, but I mean, you guys are the ones we're trying to impress here, so.
Comer took notes. I didn't, so that's on me. I'll take notes next time.
I gotta do a little victory dance here. I don't know if this is showing up on OBS. There we go. I see. Also, what were the highlights of the stream that you would say? Like, what parts of the stream did we do good so we know what to keep doing?
Yeah. Quit moving my icon! No! I'm leaving. That is all.
Also reading TOS to be sure of what can be said is good. Otherwise, you caught my attention all along. Very good. I'm happy with that.
Yay!
In which case, I guess we'll stay live for another 30 seconds, see if there's anyone else who wants to say anything.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna wrap it up.
Alright.
Yeah, reading TOS would be pretty good for us. Well, we'll do that in the next plan day.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, thank you everyone for actually tuning in. If you want announcements for when my next streams are going to be, existing, including Weird Wisdom, my Discord is in the. Fuck, I hate self-promotion. Is in the About Cavern thing. Just it's a single link down there. So you can join in, see whenever it comes out next time, and that about it, Spud?
That's about it.
Alright. In which case, thank you again everyone for coming. And
Yeah.
have a wunderbar day.
Have a nice day.
Also, this stream made me hungry. I'm gonna get something to eat. I recommend everyone do the same as well. Alright. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.